Okay. I want to talk about discernment. I want to talk about how the choices we make right now will determine our future. And discernment is key because there are so many levels of information coming through the airwaves at this moment in time, right? And the portals are wide open, people. Do not think for a second just because the world has stopped that means nothing is happening. It's quite the opposite. It's called damage control. Okay? Damage control. Just think damage control. That's what's happening. Let's get really clear. And energies are going to be ever present, attempting to sway you and your beliefs in whatever direction they can get you to go in to harvest your energy. And we need to be completely discerning about what we say yes to and what we give our energy to and our thoughts to in these moments, and the choices and the choice points that we are presented with, right? So somebody could be acting innocently, right? Somebody could be completely totally thinking they're doing something good, you know, and not have the consent of someone else involved or themselves. They might consent to something that they feel is okay in their dream space because it appears a particular way, right? But in all reality, it's completely the opposite. So discernment is super key right now. Let's pay attention to what is resonating in this space of stillness within you. Like, what is the truth of who you are? What is the absolute clarity that you are receiving for yourself before you speak, before you act, before you do something just because something tells you to do it, something online tells you to do this, like, hey, do this, hey, do that. No. Oh my God. Come on, people. Use your discernment vessel. Use your judgment if you need to. Like, discernment and judgment are very, very close in nature, right? You get discernment comes from judgment. Discernment comes from this place of, well, let me judge that for what it. Let me look at that for what it is, right? Let me observe that. And really pay attention to what that actually is. And do I resonate with it? Do I want to be a part of that? Do I want to engage with that? How do I want to go about interacting with that? Right? And so if someone tells you social distancing, for example, what does that mean to you? Does that mean treating everyone like they're a pariah? and avoiding their contact of their eyes or smiling at them. No, quite the opposite. It means being socially responsible and respectful of other people's space, but it also means being kind and accommodating, right? But it also means using discernment and making a good choice for yourself and for those around you, not just thinking about yourself. Discernment means that you are regarding the environment as well. You are regarding all aspects of reality within your environment and making a choice for yourself and making choice points based on discernment, based on what feels true to you and what doesn't. Okay? Because fear comes from a place of getting pulled out of your center and being influenced and swayed by an influence outside yourself. It's false evidence appearing real. Okay? It is not necessarily real. Sure, fight or flight is real. Sure, and if there's a cougar chasing you down the mountain, sure. But that same cougar, you could look that cougar in the face and send it complete love with pure unconditional love and stand strong and unafraid, and that cougar would walk up to you and you could pet that cougar and it would purr. Right? Discernment. So it's about being so clear in your heart, really just dropping into your heart before taking action, before doing what something suggests that you do online, or before getting swayed into doing something that you don't want to necessarily do, but you're like, oh, well, it told me to do that, so no. Or if someone in your dream comes into your dream and convinces you that they are the light in your dream space, in the astral, and you say yes to something, be careful what you say. Not be careful, but be present to what you're agreeing to right now. Right? This is about sovereignty. In my opinion, we are coming into our center, right? We're coming into our vertical alignment and into our columns of light, right? We are holding our frequency steady in light, steady in our hearts, so that we can be fully present and available for what's happening around us. And we can give of ourselves because our cup is overflowing, right? Our cup is flowing over rather than being depleted by being by taking in all the fear porn. Like, we don't have to do that. We can actually do a fast from social media. We don't even need social media. I grew up without social media, period. I didn't have it. I spent my days making art, and I still do. Welcome to my color wall. Okay? Welcome to the goddess, the great mother, backing my shit up. Discernment. Choosing where we place our attention, choosing who we allow ourselves to engage with, choosing how much energy we are willing to engage and give to any particular source or energy of people or whatever. Like, our energy is ours to keep and to cultivate and to store and to strengthen and to hold. And if we're constantly being sucked out of ourselves and harvested, our energy being harvested, right? We don't have any wherewithal to figure out what's happening. If we're being constantly on the fucking, excuse my French, but we're on the hamster wheel. right? We're so busy thinking that all the stuff is happening and they've created all the la 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 la, when really what's happening, what is happening? Can we talk about what's happening for a minute? Gaia is on her moon. That's what's happening. She's bleeding. And she is taking her rest. And she is slowing down. And all of us need to respect that. Period. So when I wake up out of a vision that I'm having, where I'm standing in a group of 13 women around a red teepee, and a woman is squatted in prayer position, bleeding on the earth in front of this teepee with the central fire, and there's a circle of moon blood all the way around the teepee, and she is Gaia, I pay attention. She is protected, and we've got her back. And she's going to take her moon lodge, and we're going to let her. There are very significant things that have happened since 2000 that I can literally, like, delete, where she has almost like pushed people out of her yoni, out of her crown chakra. Like, she has made a point of making it clear when she needs something done, right? And you better believe that this isn't just politics. This isn't just all the arrests happening, which thank frickin' God that's happening, and that they're prepared, right? And that they're keeping everybody safe through damage control. Because that's what's happening, quarantine. When we come out the other side of this, we're going to be in a different world, people. Do not doubt that for a second. And those of us that have been holding this container for the new world, the new earth, we're going into action now. We're all stepping up. We all feel it. And we are all coming online at the same time. This is I don't want to say global. I want to find a different word because we don't actually know what's really going on, do we? But this is a global reset. This is a rest. And it's so good. Oh my God, let's cherish this moment. Like, for real, yo. For real. Let's freaking bless this moment in time. I am so fucking grateful right now. Like, I have literally full body chills on a daily basis right now because the energies are so strong. And it's not even so much fear that I'm feeling, because I'm not in that frequency field. I see it, it's over there, but I don't, it's over there. You know what I mean? So I observe it and I witness it, but I choose not to engage in it, so it doesn't come near me, per se. Because I feel blessed, you know, I feel grateful. I am so willing to give of my heart right now. I am so willing to bring joy. I am so willing to say, I love you. My heart loves you. I may not even know who you are, and I still love you. Like, you know? And I use discernment. A lot of it. And right now especially, I'm using a lot of discernment in terms of my interactions with people and who I'm choosing to interact with and when. Because I need to focus, man. I got shit to do. And this is a moment in time that I should have been prepared long ago. And to a certain extent, I'm prepared. I am mentally prepared. But in terms of physical preparation for what I need in terms of certain things, I'm not. I feel a little bit like, oh shit, I know what I need to do, but I just haven't done it, you know? So it's like, oh, I gotta get this done right now, actually. You know, like, ah. So I can't be distracted with social media or fear porn or all these other things. I need to focus on where we're going. Where we're going. Because I'm a part of that, right? This is the first day of the rest of our lives. Just think about that. Like, this is the first day where we get to choose our direction. Like, oh my God. I mean, I've always been choosing my direction, but now I feel like we can all do that and we are free to do that. And so all of us need to like step forward and be like, okay, this is what's happening. Right? Why are we worried about like, what's happening is a reaction? Like, this is like, that's actually a reaction from the control matrix because it's going, it's flying off. It started January 12th, people. It didn't start with the coronavirus. The coronavirus is a symptom of the reaction of panic from the control matrix. Okay? Let's get that straight. This has been coming forever. This has been planned. They had this all figured out. They knew exactly what they were going to do at every moment. It's those of us that they've kept in the dark. But we're not in the dark. That's the thing. It's what we're choosing to engage with and choosing to look at. Right? Here I am. I was reading a book. Okay. If anybody hasn't read this book, which most people haven't probably, but this book, let me see if I can get it. Barbara Marciniak. Okay? Just saying. That book was written 27 years, that book was channeled 27 years ago, and it's talking about right now. Okay? I read another book called The Brotherhood of the Magi. You can go back and listen to my story times with Saralise. There's so many books that talk about what's happening right now. You know, this is like the apocalypse. It's the you know, what do you call it? Oh my God, why am I totally blanking out in the Bible and the end of the Revelations? It's all of that. It's the shift. It's the awakening back into the golden age. I'm saying back into because we've had previous golden ages before, right? But this one coming up is at least 1,000 years once it shifts, if maybe not even 2,000 years. Not sure. However, let's make it infinite. Let's make it go forever. Whatever. Let's not bring it back in any dark ages. Thank you very much. I'm tired of that 500,000 years of our fucking existence. Excuse my French. But for 500,000 years, this planet, this particular planet that we are on, has been under lockdown. Okay? And those of us in our soul matrix that have been here and know the story and have been part of the story, we're done. We're done. We're cooked. We're ready to go off on, you know, another journey. Whatever. Let's use discernment, people, and and be super clear about where we're going, what we're choosing to place our attention on, how we are interacting with others and with ourselves. Are we taking care of ourselves? I just took a bath. I was like, I need a bath. I need a bath. You know, I just was like, I need a bath. And I just went and took a bath. And I took a scrumptious bath with celery seed, cypress, vetiver, patchouli, ylang ylang. Like, I just like worked it. It was good. And some Epsom salts. And I feel 1,000 times better. I mean, I was feeling fine before, but I was like, I hit a wall today, you know? I've been out in the world looking at stuff, being around people, and I just was like, I hit a wall and I had to go take a bath. And you know, it's not unlike me to take care of myself like that anyway. But it's just really nice when it's almost like this has given us permission to take care of ourselves. And I mean, I never needed that permission, but clearly a bunch of people did. So we're giving Gaia the opportunity to be on her moon and like bleed and rest and be in her moon time, in her moon lodge. And Gaia is taking it, man. She's like, I'm going to take this rest. And you know, the other time, I mentioned it earlier, but the other time that she took a rest that was so distinct, oh my God, it was so distinct, was December 12th through 24th of 2012. Those 12 days, she had a storm in Mount Shasta. People were on the freeways, couldn't get onto the mountain for 3 days, okay, during the winter solstice of 2012. Chichen Itza had all this crazy stuff going on. I was in Kauai with 17 people. They literally, what did they do? They evacuated the entire Kalalau Valley of all the people out of her yoni, basically. I mean, and we were doing a retreat there, so it was like this whole thing where we couldn't go in and do our thing. So we ended up, I'm going to tell a story now because this is actually really funny. So we hiked in the middle of the night to Cloud Forest, which is at the top of the Kalalau. Okay, so if you can imagine, there's like a 6-foot wide path of mud with a 3,000 foot drop on either side. Okay, in the clouds. It's that high up. And we camped. We set up our tents on this ridge, okay, that was slippery. It was like, and we parked our car down. We didn't even park it at the top because you're not supposed to be up there, right? So we parked our car down the road and then hiked up and snuck in and down this like slippery, muddy situation. It was nuts, dude. And 10 of us climbed into this 2-person tent with a some tea light candles. We like kept relighting them, but we had these tea light candles on this little pillow, okay? And we would take turns holding this pillow in this 2-person tent. We were like shoved into this 2-person tent, and we chanted for hours in the middle of the night on the winter solstice of 2012. And basically what came from that was the Galactic Earth Peace Treaty. We made a peace treaty with all the ship. There were like 60 ships in the sky. I kid you not. So once we were done with that, everybody tried to go to sleep. So funny. Nobody could sleep. It was crazy. We were all laying there. It was pointless, right? So at one point I'm like, you know what? I'm like getting all these like Andromeda, you know, all these ships. And I'm like, I want to see these motherfuckers, you know? So I get out of my tent and I go and I'm standing there and it's totally cloudy. And I'm like, oh, okay, clouds, part. I want to see the ships. I'm like, come on, man, I'm here. Come on, give it to me. So all of a sudden it was like, poof, and the sky just opened up. I'm not even kidding you. I have to tell you this story. I haven't hardly told anybody. I've told people privately this story, but not very many people. So anyway, the sky opens up, and there's like 60 ships in the sky just parked above my head. I'm not even kidding. And I just start laughing. I'm like, oh my God. I was just like, whoa, dude. Okay, it's not my imagination. Like, for real. For real. Okay? And so Jacob, the only guy there at the moment, gets out of his tent. He's like, what are you laughing at? It's like that. I was like, and he was like he was frozen. He didn't even know what to do. Like, he was just like, what the fuck? You know? And I was like, dude, I told you, man. Like, that's what's up. You know? So then at 4:30 in the morning, we all get up, we set our alarms, and one of the girls, she was like holding space and didn't sleep all night. She was like just in prayer vigil the whole night, right? And she's like 4'9", and she had her little cane walking stick, and she was just full shaman, just, you know. And my other friend, who I was sleeping in the tent with, she was also 4'9". I had a bunch of priestesses that were like 4'9" and 4'11", and, you know, very small, but just powerhouses, you know, like good friends of mine, really strong powerhouse priestesses. And so we go up, and we're like slipping up the thing with our camping tents and our stuff, and like we're slipping on the mud. It's like so moist and so wet, right? So we're slipping on the mud, and we're like trying to get up this hill that we've been on, this ridge, you know, and we stop. And so one of the things that we were instructed to do, or we were guided to do, was take something that had like the most precious to us, like something that we just cherished so completely, and we had to offer it to Gaia, to the new earth, for just as an offering, and in terms of this shift that was happening in the world. And so we gave of ourselves, we gave several things, and I wrapped this golden Lemurian from my twin flame and an Oralite 23, which is 1.2 billion years old. I wrapped it in this tea leaf, and I stuck it in the side of the cliff that was 3,000 feet down, right? I stuck it in the side of the cliff, and I said a prayer to Gaia, and it was to reset the codes of the planet, like to the original divine blueprint of the planet. So I took this golden Lemurian crystal and this Oralite 23, and I wrapped it in this tea leaf, and then I dug it into the side of the hill next to this tree, and I felt it go zhunk, and I was like, oh shit, and then it like lit up the whole place, and I was like, whoa, damn, okay, that just happened, you know. So then we go up, and it's sunrise, and so we all sat there on the top of the Kalalau Valley, and we watched the sunrise, right? Now remember, I had hiked in the dark, and I'd never been to this spot before, so I didn't realize exactly where I was, you know what I mean? So when I was sitting there after we had watched the sunrise, I was sitting there, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, I used to live right, like I literally was like, oh, I used to live there 600,000 years ago, you know, like it was just like, oh yeah, I used to live right there. And I was looking at the Kalalau and onto the Kalalau beach, right? And I just was like, and there's like nothing up to the North Pole. There's like no land masses. It's just wide open ocean, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking down, And all of a sudden, my friend, she's like hitting me. She's like, look, look. And I look up, and it was like, and like this like wave of light just slammed into me, and I fell backwards. And it was this double rainbow, like just merged in front of us. It just like, it went and it went and like we just got hit with this wave of energy. And I looked at her and I was like, it is done. You know, like it happened. That just happened. And she goes, it has begun. And we both just sat there. And everybody else was gone. They were like at the van or whatever, you know. And it was like such a moment where the whole, like, time didn't exist at all. You know what I mean? It was like completely in alignment with the new earth frequencies, and like, boom, we have stepped through the portal, you know? And we've been in that portal since that moment. And I've been in that portal personally since that moment and walking the earth, right? So through that process of walking the earth in this way, I have discovered discernment. It's become a big part of my sharing that I share with people. It's something that I truly believe is the key to clarity, the key to where we are going, the key to where we can open into the frequency of the crystalline frequency of Gaia, you know? So it's the one thing that, like, it could be perceived as judgment, but in actuality, it's discernment. It's how you invest your energy in something. It's how you engage with things. It's how you interact in the world, right? But it's also how you receive. So it goes both ways, right? And so the more you discern your environment, the more clear it becomes, and the more you can see through the veil. Well, there's no veil anymore. It's been ripped off, obviously. But some of us, you know, have been facilitated that. Some of us have helped with that and have been in support of that veil coming off. So some of us have needed to be discerning in order to not get caught in the veil of illusion that has been keeping everybody asleep. So now that veil is off. It's off. And we are in a moment where Gaia is bleeding. We're in a moment where she is taking her rest, and we are going to let her take it. We are going to let her have her moon. You can think of it like this is her moon ceremony, right? This is her moment to give birth to herself in becoming a woman, in becoming a full-fledged goddess. I mean, she already is, right? She's fine. But it's actually her helping us kind of get where she is, you know? And her taking her moment, and her making us aware that she's taking her moment, so that everything can settle down and we can all pay attention to ourselves, and we can all reset our clocks. So there's no more clock. And we can allow ourselves to come into this multidimensional awareness and this place where we can see clearly where we are and where we're going. rather than focusing on the panic or the fear or what's falling away. We don't need any of that. It's real. It's happening. It's manifesting in the third dimensional reality. And we have the opportunity in this moment to make choices and choice points for where we're going. We're right there. We're walking that line. All the people that you've been either following or leading or whatever that you think were good people might not be. Your idols might fall and crash and burn. And where does that leave you, right? Back to you. Back to your heart. Back to your sovereignty, and your love that you can give in every moment to everyone. Using your heart's intelligence, right? Because that's where it's at, man. I think I've run out of words. Sometimes when I get on these rolls, dude, I'm like, I'm preaching. It's funny. Anyway, thank you for listening. Love you guys. See you later.